Greetings, travelers, and welcome to episode 54 of WesteroScraft Walks with your wonderful and wacky host, Dutchguard. In today's episode, we'll be taking a look at Long Lake, which is the name of a huge lake in the north of Westeros. It's one of the largest lakes in the north, and on its shores sit a town, which we don't know the name of, but we've called it Long Lake Town. And we also have a really cool keep in the town, or off the shore of the town in the lake, which is a really cool keep, which is the seat of House Lake. Now, we don't know factually that House Lake controls the lands around Long Lake. All we know is that there is a Long Lake in the north of Westeros, and there is a House Lake in the north of Westeros. So we decided to put two and two together, and we sort of did two in the same. So we've got House Lake controlling these lands around Long Lake, and you'll see this little settlement here, and you even see some weirwoods around here. Keep in mind we are in the north. We haven't done a north video in a while, so I'm not used to seeing weirwoods. But just upon the entrance of the town of Long Lake Town here, we've got nice little stables here for travelers to park their horses. I don't know, you don't really park them, do you? Sort of tie them up for the night. We've got some little settlements as well, some little homes for families. I love these central fireplaces here. Looks like we've got a little bubbling cauldron full of stew heating up for the supper. I decided to set the time for dusk, which I think is just a really cool time of day, and it really lends itself to the north for whatever reason. I think I've done a few other videos in the north, which are set sort of at nighttime. So, let's check out this weirwood. There's another weirwood we'll check out later on, but this one's pretty cool as well. It's got a nice little bit of flowers there. You know, weirwoods like flowers too. In here, let's see what this is. This looks like a pretty big house. Pretty big kitchen in here. Nice sort of main entryway. Big hearth like that, especially in the north, because it gets pretty cold. Is there stairs? Oh, well, there's a ladder. I like ladders. Ladders are good. And we're on this next floor here with lots and lots of beds. Oh my god, it's pretty much the whole floor is covered in beds. So we probably have lots of people living here. It's probably a pretty big house for that reason. Oh, it looks like it's even got a cellar. So let's check it down here. You'll see lots of cellars in the north. That's, of course, for keeping food fresh and sort of keeping it from, you know, getting rotten, because the cellars are nice and cool for storing all kinds of fresh food. So, let's just make our way around the town. We'll eventually view the Long Lake, which is just in the distance there. You can see the moon rising as well. Very cool. So we've got two different kinds of styles here in Long Lake. We've got a predominantly wood style, and that's either an all-wood roof or with a sod roof. And then we have the same, but a mostly stone style. We've got a stone style here with a sod roof. We also have some stone wall buildings here, or that's just a stone chimney actually, but yeah, some stone buildings, some wood buildings, a nice little combination of the different styles you can get in the north. Looks like we've got a chicken coop here, which is really cool. Nice little fenced off area for those chickens to lay their eggs. I didn't know this, but chickens lay like an egg a day. That's a lot. I thought like chickens laid them like only every once in a while, but I mean, I need to get myself some chickens. I love eggs. Anyway, going off on a tangent. Looks like we've gotten here in this little stone building, looks like a big kitchen, a really big kitchen, and a really cool new texture update we had. Just changed the meat hook textures that we have in the rest of Westeros, and in the north, in the northern biomes, we specified them to have different kinds of meats hanging off them. I'm not really sure what that top one is, but the bottom one is definitely a goose. You can see sort of the goose there, with some, you know, realistic blood splotches. I'm really trying to figure out what that is. Someone tell me what that is. Someone from our team, please comment below, just so I can figure it out. I probably should know, but I didn't read the patch notes. But anyway, cool little, interesting, looks like an inn in here, or like a pub or some kind of thing with lots of places to sit. If we go upstairs, looks like we'll find some places to sleep as well. Very cool. Nice little place for travelers to come and rest their legs. And of course, as with all northern buildings, you'll see lots of these northern carving blocks, as well as the dark spruce planks pretty much everywhere. Looks like we still need to update this build with some modern signs, but we'll get to that eventually. This is another one of the texture updates here. We've got a snow hare, these white rabbits. Those look pretty cool. I definitely do like those. Let's check out this little house in here. Looks like just like lots of storage in here. It looks like maybe a family's house. We'll see lots of storage around here because winter is coming and people are, you know, oh, didn't mean to place that. And people are stocking up for that long winter, or what they expect will be a long winter, I think. So cool. They've got all kinds of different houses here. We've got some more stone houses there with sod roofs. What's up here? And I love these trees as well. These are, of course, more custom pine trees, coniferous trees that we've built just for the server, and they just look great, especially in the north with those patches of snow on them for fresh snowfall. Looks like we've got a windmill over here, which is pretty cool, and a sawmill as well. or sort of a lumberjack kind of thing. You can see this is sort of a saw pit, which is sort of one of the oldest ways of cutting big logs, big trunks of trees. We've got someone down there pulling on one end and the other one pushing, and sort of going up and down along the log until they slice it in half. Very cool. Love that kind of Minecraft representation of real-life techniques that we use, and that's the kind of details that we love on our server. And this looks like freshly cut planks of wood being sheltered from the rain in there. I'm sure we've got a lumberjack's house around here as well, but I just want to check out this mill real quick. Do love a good mill. It looks like we've got more houses down there. So yeah, this town pretty much goes around, you know, a good portion of the lake. Looks like in here, yeah, it looks like a mill. There's the grindstone there. There's the millstone spinning around, turning that grain into flour, which is being sacked up here, and ready to be baked into bread. I'm sure we'll find a bakery in the town as well if we keep looking. I don't know what that is down there, but that's too far. Too lazy to go down there today. We're just going to keep going. Look at that. I love the sunlight. So pretty. I should do more of my videos at different times of day. Usually what I do is I just sort of like set like for mid-afternoon just to keep everything bright and so it's easy for you guys to see everything. But in the north I think it looks pretty cool because you've already got all the white snow, so you can kind of make out the terrain already without being too kerfluffled. In here it looks like we've got a kind of well, which is interesting because it's sort of completely enclosed. I wonder why that is. Maybe just to keep it from freezing over. Here as well. Although again, why is there a well? Like that long lake, I think it's probably a freshwater lake. Why do they need a well? I don't understand. We just love wells too much. Right, cool little hearth in here. Looks like another little family house. Very nice little sitting area. I've got some fish hanging up. We know a few things about Long Lake from the books, but not very much. One of them is that there is ice fishing going on the lake. But I presume most lakes in the north would have ice fishing as long as the lakes are big enough to hold fish. We know that Long Lake, of its location, you can see it on a map pretty clearly. It's sort of northeast of Winterfell. It's sort of halfway between Winterfell and the Wall. So it's pretty far north. That's why we've got all this snow laying around. What's in here? Looks like we've got a fishermongers here, sort of cutting up those fish. You know, no one wants to eat those fish heads. They aren't very tasty. I've tried one. They're not nice. And lots of fish here out hanging to cure. And I just wanted to show you guys these as well. This I saw before. This is really cool. This is a smokehouse that's sort of built, partially buried in the earth. I love these sort of the embers burning off these different smokes here to smoke these different kinds of meats. And then we've got sort of a big rack of ribs there from, you know, a cow or something like that. And up here we also have a granary, and you can probably tell it's a different version of a granary than we've seen before. It's still on stilts to keep it off the ground. But it's sort of a northern style of granary, which I kind of like. It's got kind of cool details. And again, got those meats hanging up in here. It looks like, I don't know what these are either, maybe lamb chops or something like that. Those are some big racks of ribs there. Looks like cows, as I said, maybe pigs. You can even see part of the spine sort of coming out the bottom there. That's kind of grim, but hey. Make sure we close that. Don't want any of our food going off. Right, so here's the part where you think I'm going crazy, and I'm going to go walk out onto the lake. So, now walking out onto the lake, what I'm hoping to find is an island in the middle of the lake, which holds the keep of House Lake. It's a really cool, nifty little keep, which I checked out before I started making the video, just to get my bearings. Oh god. Oh god, parkour on ice. I don't like this. I don't like this! That there looks like a fishing ship with the colors of House Lake. At least I think those are the colors of House Lake. Oh my god. Oh no! Ah, hypothermia! Okay, get out of the water. There it is. There it is. There's the keep of House Lake. Okay, let's see how fast we can run. Go, 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 go! Go! Oh no! I'm drowning! Run! Run! Gotta heat myself up. Gotta keep my core body temperature to the max. God, I'm terrible at this. Go, go, go! Fire! Oh my god! I found the smallest hole in the lake. Okay, get up to the fire. Gotta warm myself. There we go. Don't get too close now. Alright. Warm my hands. Okay, I feel pretty thawed out. That's pretty good. Got a nice little dock here, of course, for the boats coming from the town. That looks so cool with the light. You can see the silhouette of a house there, at least one house there, and the docks down there at the Long Lake town. Down here we've got a little warehouse for storage for the goods that the ships are carrying in. So this place must be pretty cool defense-wise against the siege. In the middle of this frozen lake, you know, on top of this kind of cliffy kind of thing, had to take these stairs to get up to the keep. So it must be pretty good for defense. We've also got this crane over here, which is used for hoisting goods down from the docks in case you don't feel like carrying it up all the way by hand. I certainly wouldn't want to do that. So before we head into the main keep, just want to show you this little weirwood here, Really nifty little weirwood. I just love weirwoods, and those custom weirwood leaf textures are really, really cool, and the creepy weirwood face. I kind of would love to have a sort of... we do have a connected textures mod, which means that depending on where you place a block or how many other blocks you place around it, changes the texture of the block. So I would love if we maybe had some connected textures for weirwood faces, so they weren't always the same kind of face with the crying red eyes, because we based that off of the Winterfell weirwood, which has the crying red sap. But some of them are, you know, in the books it describes weirwood faces as being all kinds of different expressions and emotions, and, you know, seems a lot of despair, but there are some happy ones as well. Actually, before we go up to the keep, I just want to check out these little houses over here. There's some cool stuff in here. Looks like we've got a kind of, I don't know, there's living quarters. There's some, you know, hearth and some bread up there on the table. And in here, we've got our standard northern greenhouse, or glass gardens, as they're known as in the books. And it's basically a conservatory, which they can use to grow food all year round, even during the bitterest cold of winter. We've got a nice little hearth here for keeping it warm and keeping the snow out. And yeah, really cool. Love that. It's just a nice little feature that you know, a little fantasy element into the northern builds, which you might not get. So thank you, George R. R. Martin, for Glass Gardens. They're really cool. And when we eventually get to the new Winterfell videos, they have some killer glass gardens, which are just massive and beautiful, and I can't say enough about them. If you don't want to wait for a video, please go check it out now. Winterfell is still somewhat in progress. We're nearly done, but do /warp Winterfell, I think it's 1, Winterfell New, something like that. You'll get to it eventually if you ask, especially on the server, and it is just so cool, so pretty, just love it. Right, I think we found the rookery, yay! That we could check that one off our list. We found the rookery. Looks like we've got some ravens cages here, and a little writing desk somewhere for the maester to write his letters. Well, that's not a writing desk unless he writes in his blood. Cool, looks like let's take these stairs. This looks like another way up to the keep, which I did not see before. But here we are, into the main keep. Looks like a nice little entrance hall with some books and some suits of armor. This could be lances, actually, these big long fence posts, and we don't really have a cool lance texture. It's kind of a complicated kind of thing to make, but anyway, looks like this is the main feast hall. Now, Long Lake and House Lake, we don't know much about them. We kind of have to assume that they're not like super wealthy or powerful, so we tend to be safe and sort of build their keeps relatively modestly, somewhat smallish, and I like that. You know, you can kind of pack in more detail into a smaller space, and you know, that's just as good as some of the huge castles we have on the server. One little tidbit about Long Lake, actually, we do know one historical event about Long Lake, and that is in 226 AC, after Conquest. Around the lake was the site of a battle called, well, quite obviously, the Battle of Long Lake, which had some of the forces from the north, the Starks and the Umbers especially, repel a king beyond the wall, so sort of like Mance Raider. Am I spoiling things? Well, anyway, there's a king beyond the wall in the books, and he's great. But there were historically lots of kings beyond the wall who always tried to, you know, pass the wall and settle in Westeros and try to, you know, find their way or conquer them, or I'm not really sure what their idea is. But it was a king beyond the wall known as Raymond Redbeard, and he was pretty fearsome and managed to somehow get past the wall. And the Night's Watch came down and chased them down, and the Starks and the Umbers sort of cornered them. And yeah, they eventually won, but lots of Night's Watch were killed. So apparently around this area there's lots of graves of brothers of the Night's Watch. That's all we know about Long Lake, really, other than it's pretty prominent on most maps. But anyway, back to the build. We've got a nice little kitchen here next to the feast hall, which is pretty good. I was heading up the spiral staircase here. Looks like we've got another little eating area. Looks like we'll find some bed chambers here with a really low canopy, bed canopy. I don't know why that is, but some cool colors there as well. Those are the colors of House Ball. So orange and green there. Pretty close approximation of what they are. It's sort of like green circles on an orange field, something like that. Not particularly creative, but yeah, nonetheless. Looks like the Lord's study here, or perhaps his solar, where he writes letters and that kind of thing. Got a big old hearth here. Very cool. And a nice cool library, books and things, you know. Must be a pretty learned lord, the Lord Lake. Right, another little bedchamber in here with a canopy and the colors of House Lake. So continuing up through the keep. Looks like we've made our way out to a little terrace here. I'm looking out on the lake there. I don't know if you can still see the town from here. It's actually over there, so we won't be able to see it. Oh, actually, we're pretty close to the top. And that there's the weirwood we just had a look at. If we just get on this roof here... Nope, it's not going to let me render that far. But check out that sunset! Beautiful! Let's see if we can get to the top of this tower, and I will leave you with a beauteous view of Long Lake and the north in all of its glory. I really wish I could show off the north more. I know lots of you request videos for locations in the north, but to be honest, there really aren't that many. There's quite a few we haven't built yet, but we've done most of them. I'm going to try and get in Last Hearth, and when we eventually get to the wall castles, we'll have lots more to see then. But for the minute, I'm kind of struggling to find some locations in the north to show you guys. But anyway, this was a pretty cool one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to check it out on the server, just /warp Long Lake and explore away. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time for episode 55.